Good morning, students. Already 1 week over, we had examinations and everything. After that, let us start again lessons today freshly. So, previous classes, previous lessons, we have learnt about the male gametogenesis and female gametogenesis. So, male gametogenesis, gametes are formed. Female gametogenesis, now the embryo sac is ready with the egg and egg apparatus and egg for the fertilization is ready. Now the thing is, pollen are immotile. They remain in one place only, and pistil remains in another place. So the male gametes has to reach the pistil of the flower. So that process, the pollination, how the pollen will reach the pistil, and what are the sources and what are the methods, how many methods are there, let us see that one first. Okay. Okay, pollination. First of all, what is the pollination? Pollination means transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. That is called the pollination. That anyway you know. So pollen grains has to reach the stigma, and basically just now I told you pollen grains are immobile, and they cannot reach by themselves. They cannot move. They cannot reach like that. So anyway, pistil is also immobile, and that remains in one place only. So how the pollen grains will reach to the pistil? There should be some extra source, or there should be some extra agent to help the pollen to reach the stigma. That may be water, that may be wind, that may be animal, that may be gravity for the growth, or contact, directly contact also. Directly contact means the pollen is directly coming contact by any means. Okay. So for that purpose, these flowering plants, they have developed different amazing array means different methods adopted for getting the pollination done. Okay. Now, what are the kinds of the pollination? Normally, generally, just kinds of pollinations are two types. This all you have learned many times. So, one is the self-pollination. Self means same flower, same pistil, same pollen. Cross-pollination, from a different flower, pollen is coming to the different flower pistil. So that is the two types are actually two types, self and cross. And in that, how many groups are there? 3 groups we can divide. So what is that? First, autogamy, that is self-pollination. Gaetogamy, this is also one kind of self-pollination. Only thing, flower will be on the same plant, but one flower pollen is coming to the another flower of same plant, that is genetically same. So we consider even it is cross also, this is self only. Okay. And second one is the genogamy. So this one we will read detailed afterwards. Just let us see first once now this classification. Pollination how many types? Self pollination, cross pollination. And in the self pollination, first one is the autogamy, second one is the gaetogamy. Auto means self, gamy means marriage. Marriage means the same mixing or the fertilization between the gametes of same flowers. And this autogamy, the self only 3 different types. Only same flower only 3 different types. One is homogamy, second is cleistogamy, third is bud pollination. They are depending upon the shapes and structures of the flower, how they are able to manage the autogamy. Second one is in the self-pollination, gaetogamy. Gaetogamy means different flowers of the same plant. Plant will be same, flowers will be different. So that is gaetogamy. And next is the cross-pollination. This classification we will see afterwards. First let us see in that homogamy. First one is the homogamy, autogamy first one is the homogamy. Pollination, again once you see autogamy means pollination achieved with the same flower, transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. Okay, autogamy is possible when anther and stigma close together, there is synchrony. What is the meaning of synchrony? The release of the pollen and the pistil should be ready. Both should be ready same time. When the pollen is released, then the pistil should be ready to take the pollen grain and male gametes, and they can able to do the fertilization. So that is autogamy. Autogamy, how many times? As I told you, autogamy 3 types. One is the homogamy. Now let us see homogamy. Homogamy means the anthers and stigmas of chasmogamous flowers. There is in NCERT, you will see page number, NCERT page number 28. 28, you will see figure number 2.9. This chasmogamous and clistogamous flowers, this difference or characters, that will be a very important question for the board. Okay, chasmogamous means flowers will open. See, you can see here, one is the homogamy, chasmogamous flowers, Vinca roja, Sadabahar, and 4 o'clock flower, and this is the sunflower flower. So how they are taking place, the flower itself changes its structure to make it homogamy. Flowers are open, and in that open flowers are brought together by growth or bending or folding. In Catharanthus means, this is the Catharanthus flower. Catharanthus means Sadabahar, you people say. In this, if you see Sadabahar flower, the pistil is bending. Here if you see towards the pollen grain, these are the, light is less, so it may be difficult to see, but this is the cut and kept here. The pistil is bending toward, here you see clearly, here the pistil is bending. Pistil is bending. Okay, now you have seen this pistil is bending. Okay, that is one variety. This is the Sadabahar plant. You can see Sadabahar plant, and this one autogamous. Second flower is mirabilis. Mirabilis means 4 o'clock flower. This evening 4 o'clock it opens the flower. That flower also same structure. So in mirabilis 4 o'clock bending of the filament. Here first Sadabahar is what? Bending of the growth of the style. Style will grow and it goes to the anther. That is first example. In mirabilis flower slightly different. Bending of filaments brings the ripe anthers in contact. One flower stigma is bending, another flower filament is bending. That is the two different ones, very important ones, questions. And next third is potato flowers show curling of, this one, see, potato flower show curling of the style for curling of the style for carrying stigma to ripe anthers. Okay, when cross pollination fails in sunflower both the pollinations, cross and self also, when cross pollination fails means no agent came and it has not taken any pollination, then the flower changes itself. Cross pollination fails in sunflower. The bifid stigma means divide wala, bifid means like this divided. Stigma curls, this it is curling, that is curls back so as to pick the pollen. It bends and curls and takes the pollen and takes the male gametes inside. So that is the sunflower. So this is the Catharanthus or Sadabahar, and this is the 4 o'clock and potato, and this is the sunflower and surface of the stigma. And it is fail and safe mechanism for self pollination. Catharanthus, mirabilis, potato I told you. Next one, another variety of the self pollination, second variety, clistogamy. Always very important, as I told you, difference between the chasmogamous and clistogamous. Both are self only. Clistogamous means clistos, closed. Gamous means marriage, means within close. Both will be same flower. Only one flower. There is no chance of other flower. So that is why clistos means closed, gamous means marriage. Okay. So the flower in this main is character is clistogamous. The flower never opens. And this is a reasoning question. Why clistogamous always show self-pollination only? The reason is it will never open. When it will never open, the pollen has to fall on the stigma of the same flower. Then the flower will not open. So the flowers are intersexual. Same inside that. They remain closed, causing self-pollination. This is very important word. They remain closed. The flowers are remain closed. That is clistogamous. And clistogamy occurs late in the flowering season in some plants. Example, Pomolina. Comolina, this plant. If you see this plant, this is a grass plant. You can see in a jungle side like that. Actually, this plant greatness is here. This plant upside one chasmogamous and another is clistogamous flowers will be there. This plant is Comolina. Okay, example Comolina. I will show you in the NCERT textbook also. See, this plant is this is a Comolina plant. Okay, this is a chasmogamous plus clistogamous means. Okay, chasmogamous means they open, clistogamous means they never open. If they don't open, only self pollination, and only self means assured, and chasmogamous also self pollination only, but it will never open. It opens both. That Comolina plant I was showing to you, this is the Comolina plant, and it is not completely developed. Here one kind of clistogamous flowers will be there, here chasmogamous flowers will be there. These two are that plant. Okay, next plant is for the clistogamous. One is Comolina bengalensis is over, second is balsam. You see this balsam plant. Okay, balsam plant also quickly never open. After everything is over, it will open. Fertilization and everything is over. You can see already fruit formation took place. Fruit formation over and fertilization is over here. Because of light it may be this one. See, this is what is this is balsam. This is, you can see, completely not open. This is balsam. Inside this, see, now you clearly see it is not open inside everything. Okay, next example Oxalis. Oxalis is this one. You maybe seen grass like that, yellow color flowers. This one, it never opens. Open also before after the fertilization. And Oxalis, this one is also very good example for Oxalis. This plant, when you see this one, this leaf is there and this is the flower. This is the flower and this is the plant. It may be three leaves like this shape. You can see normal green color also, this one, Oxalis. Okay. Next one, pansy. Pansy means the flower looks like a butterfly shape like that, it will be there. So now what is the clistogamous flowers means? Examples are there. Comolina, it contains both clistogamous and chasmogamous, and balsam plants. Oxalis, viola. Viola means pansy. Pansy means butterfly like that flower will be there. Okay. Next, these plants therefore possesses both chasmogamous and clistogamous flowers. These ones. In clistogamous flower, the anthers dehisce inside. Clistogamous means both are closed. So the anther has to dehisce, burst, and shed the pollen grains on the stigma of the same flower. And growth of style brings the pollen grains in contact of stigma. Style means anther part, and pollination and seed set are assured. Why? Because flower is not opening and the pollen has to fall inside on the stigma. So there is certainty there for the fertilization and formation of the seed. And naturally, when flower is closed and it is taking place on its own, no need of any pollinators. It is self-reliant. Okay. And third variety of autogamy is self-pollination is bud pollination. And in the bud pollination, anthers and stigma of intersexual or perfect flowers ripen before the opening of the buds will remain, and before the opening the pollen will shed on the stigma. Okay, so that self-pollination takes place as a rule, definitely. Okay, bud itself only. A flower open inside the flower, flower opens, but everything is inside the flower. Here it before opening only. Examples are wheat, rice, and pea. A pea flower directly I cannot show. Pea model flower I can show. Pea model flower is this one. You people call this one as Aparajita. Okay? This is a leguminaceae and papilinaceae flower. Flower dissection you will do. So you see so beautiful array or arrangement of the flower inside this. It cannot, no pollen of the outside can reach. These are the, see, these are the pollen. This is the stigma. It has to fall inside this. Okay, it is like pea flower only, same family, Papilionaceae family, and under the Leguminaceae it will take. So next, genogamy in the next video, same time, next video.